Marriage doesn't fail because of lack of love. It fails because people ignore one law that governs it all. You can break every rule and still survive. But if you break this one, your marriage will crumble no matter how much you think you love each other. Marriage is not just about feelings, emotions, or fleeting passion. It is a sacred union that thrives on principles, not impulses. Many step into marriage thinking that romance alone will carry them through. But the truth is, love without law is like a ship without an anchor. Beautiful for a while, but destined to drift and eventually sink. And the one law that must never be ignored is respect. Respect is the lifeblood of marriage. Without it, love starves. Without it, passion dies. Without it, trust evaporates. If you don't honor this law, your marriage will not just weaken, it will collapse from within. Respect is not something you demand. It is something you cultivate. It shows up in the little things, the tone of your words, the patience in your silence, the way you choose to listen instead of shouting. It is in the small choices you make daily that either build your marriage into a fortress or leave it vulnerable to storms. Love may bring two people together, but respect keeps them there. You can say, "I love you 100 times," but if your actions belittle, ignore, or demean your partner, those words become empty echoes. Respect breathes life into love. Think about it. How many homes fall apart? Not because there was no love, but because love was overshadowed by disrespect. The raised voice, the constant criticism, the neglect of the other's feelings, the refusal to acknowledge effort. These are termites that slowly eat away at the foundation. Respect is the law that demands you see your partner not as someone to control, but someone to cherish. Not as someone to compete with, but someone to complete with. Marriage thrives where both partners honor the dignity of the other. Respect is also the law of awareness. It requires you to see your partner as they are, not as you want them to be. Too often, marriages break because one partner spends years trying to change the other, forgetting that true love is not about reshaping someone's identity, but about nurturing their growth. Respect does not suffocate. It gives space. It does not belittle. It builds. It does not mock weaknesses. It celebrates strengths and supports through struggles. When you respect your partner's individuality, you allow love to expand instead of shrink. It is also the law of words. Words in marriage carry weight far greater than in any other relationship. A careless word can wound for years, while a kind word can heal 1,000 hidden hurts. Respect in marriage is seen in the language you choose. Do you uplift or do you tear down? Do you inspire or do you discourage? Do you speak as if your partner is your greatest ally, or do you treat them like an enemy in your own home? The law of respect makes you accountable for your tongue, because every word sown in marriage is a seed that grows into either harmony or hostility. Respect is the law of time. It is not enough to say your partner matters. You must show it with presence. Too many people give their best energy to their jobs, their friends, their screens, and leave only leftovers for their spouse. Over time, this neglect becomes poison. Respect in marriage means prioritizing, showing up, and giving quality time, not just what's convenient. It means making your partner feel seen in a world that constantly distracts you. When you respect the time your marriage deserves, you feed its roots so it can withstand any storm. Respect is also the law of forgiveness. No marriage is perfect. Mistakes will happen. Words will be said. Wounds will be opened. But respect refuses to hold on to bitterness. It refuses to weaponize the past. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength in motion. When you forgive, you are not saying, "I approve of what hurt me." You are saying, "I choose not to let this define us." Respect honors the humanity in your partner and recognizes that grace is a greater glue than resentment. Without forgiveness, marriages become prisons. With it, they become sanctuaries. The law of respect also governs vision. A marriage without shared vision will slowly drift into disconnection. Respect means aligning not only in love but in purpose. Two people cannot walk together unless they agree on the direction. When you respect the future you are building together, you make decisions not out of impulse but out of alignment. Every choice becomes a brick laid on the foundation of destiny. Without this shared vision, marriage becomes a tug of war instead of a shared journey. Respect demands consistency. It is not something you show only in public and abandon in private. True respect shows up when no one is watching. It shows up in the way you speak about your spouse to others, in the way you honor their presence when life feels ordinary. Anyone can show respect on anniversaries or in front of others, but the real test is in the quiet, daily moments where routine can either dull love or deepen it. Respect is the constant thread that keeps passion alive long after emotions fade. And here is the greatest truth. Respect begins with self-respect. You cannot give what you do not have. If you do not honor yourself, your values, your boundaries, your own worth, you will struggle to honor your partners. Marriage is the reflection of two individuals who see value in themselves and in each other. Respect teaches you that your spouse is not your possession, but your partner in purpose. It reminds you that love is not ownership, but stewardship. If you break this law, no amount of love, attraction, or passion will save your marriage. You can build wealth together, raise children together, even appear happy to the world. But if respect is missing, the marriage is already on life support. But if you uphold this law, if you choose daily to honor, cherish, and respect, your marriage will not only survive, it will thrive. It will become a place of peace, a place of strength, a place where both souls rise higher than they ever could alone. So I leave you with this. The one law you must never ignore is respect. Love may be the flame that starts the fire, but respect is the oxygen that keeps it burning. Break this law, and the fire dies. Honor it, and your marriage becomes unstoppable. Remember, your marriage is not destroyed by the storms outside. It only collapses when it is hollow within. Respect fills it with strength, honor, and life. Protect this law, and you protect your marriage. Marriage begins with the fire of love, but passion alone cannot carry it through a lifetime. The real test begins when emotions fluctuate and daily life takes over. Respect becomes the steady force that sustains the union when the initial sparks fade. It is the anchor that holds two people together when storms arise. Love can ignite quickly, but respect is built day by day, moment by moment. Without respect, love feels shallow, temporary, and fragile. It is respect that makes love grow deeper instead of fading away. When you look at your partner and honor their worth, you keep the bond alive. When you recognize their voice, their dreams, and their dignity, you show love in action. Respect strengthens where mere affection weakens. It is the one quality that ensures love does not wither with time. A marriage rooted in respect does not just survive. It thrives and flourishes with unshakable strength. The destruction of marriage often begins silently in the smallest acts of disregard. A dismissive tone, a careless insult, or a lack of attention may seem insignificant, but over time, they chip away at the foundation. Disrespect is like rust on steel, at first unnoticed, but eventually weakening the whole structure. Every small act of neglect is a seed of division that grows. Respect means being mindful of the little details that show care. It is not about grand gestures, but about consistency in kindness. A simple acknowledgement, a thank you, or a thoughtful act restores connection. Disrespect starves intimacy, but respect feeds it. When partners ignore each other's needs, they create distance that love cannot fill. Small acts of respect keep the heart open and the relationship safe. A marriage fails not in a single moment, but in daily choices that either honor or diminish the bond. Respect is the recognition that your partner is not a project to fix, but a person to honor. Too often, marriages collapse because one spouse constantly attempts to reshape the other. This relentless desire to change only communicates rejection. Respect values individuality and nurtures personal growth without force. It celebrates uniqueness instead of demanding conformity. When you allow your partner to be themselves, you create freedom, not fear. Respect means you do not suffocate with expectations, but empower with support. It is about standing beside, not standing over. True love respects differences and builds harmony in diversity. A marriage without respect becomes a battlefield of control, but with respect it becomes a sanctuary of acceptance. Growth flourishes where respect is present. Instead of pulling each other down with judgment, both rise together through understanding. Respect honors the humanity of your spouse and recognizes their worth without conditions. Words are powerful instruments that can heal or destroy a marriage. In a home built on respect, words are chosen with care and intention. A kind word can lift burdens, while a careless one can leave invisible scars. Respect guides the tongue to uplift rather than wound. Every conversation shapes the atmosphere of marriage. It can create harmony or hostility. Words of encouragement breathe life into weary hearts. Criticism, when constant, erodes confidence and trust. Respect teaches restraint, reminding us that silence can be better than hurtful speech. To respect is to speak as if your partner's heart is fragile and sacred. Apologies restore connection, while affirmations strengthen bonds. Disrespectful words can echo long after they are spoken, damaging intimacy. Respectful speech, however, becomes the glue that repairs and binds. When respect governs language, marriage becomes a place of healing instead of harm. Words once spoken cannot be taken back, so respect must lead every sentence. Time is one of the purest expressions of respect. In marriage, saying you matter without showing up is meaningless. Many give their best energy to work, friends, or distractions, leaving their partner with only leftovers. Over time, this neglect breeds loneliness and resentment. Respect values presence as much as promises. It chooses to prioritize moments together even when life is busy. Time spent listening, sharing, or simply being present strengthens connection. Respect does not treat togetherness as optional but essential. It understands that quality time is more valuable than material gifts. Respect in marriage means putting the phone down, turning attention away from distractions, and choosing your spouse. Every moment invested in the relationship deepens intimacy and trust. When time is respected, marriage flourishes like a well-watered garden. Without it, love withers. Respect honors time not in grand occasions, but in everyday presence. True love shows up consistently and wholeheartedly. Respect manifests itself through forgiveness. Every marriage encounters mistakes, disappointments, and conflicts, but respect refuses to keep wounds open by holding grudges. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It is a declaration of strength. It says, I value this bond more than my pain. Resentment poisons intimacy, while forgiveness restores it. Respect recognizes that no one is flawless, and chooses grace over bitterness. Forgiveness does not erase what happened, but it prevents the past from controlling the future. Respect releases the heavy chains of anger and replaces them with freedom. It allows both partners to move forward without living in constant debt to old mistakes. In forgiving, you affirm the dignity of your partner's humanity. Respect understands that to hold love hostage through resentment is to sabotage the marriage itself. A respected partner is a forgiven partner. Forgiveness builds resilience, allowing marriage to grow stronger through trials instead of breaking under them. Shared vision is impossible without respect. Marriage is not just about walking side by side, but walking in the same direction. Respect ensures that each partner's dreams and goals are valued. Without it, one dominates while the other is silenced. True respect seeks unity without erasing individuality. It listens, considers, and adjusts for the sake of harmony. Respect means not dismissing your partner's vision as foolish, but embracing it as part of your collective future. It builds alignment through cooperation, not coercion. When both partners respect each other's purpose, marriage becomes a powerful force of destiny. Disrespect, however, divides and creates tension between paths. Respect builds bridges between dreams, weaving them into one journey. It transforms two separate lives into one powerful mission. With respect, marriage moves forward with clarity, not confusion. When destiny is honored through mutual respect, the relationship thrives with unshakable unity and direction. Respect is proven, not by public displays, but by private devotion. Anyone can show kindness in front of others, but the true test lies in the unseen moments. Respect means treating your spouse with honor behind closed doors, when no one is there to applaud. It is found in everyday habits. The tone you use at the dinner table, the way you speak about your spouse when they are absent, the patience you show in ordinary frustrations. Public respect without private consistency is hypocrisy. True respect has integrity. It looks the same everywhere. It does not change with the audience. A spouse disrespected in private carries wounds that no public gesture can heal. Respect means your partner feels safe at home, not just admired in public. It is in those quiet acts of consideration that real love is proven. A marriage built on private respect can withstand any storm because it is authentic, not performative. Respect begins within. A person who does not honor themselves will struggle to honor their spouse. Self-respect is the foundation of healthy love. It teaches boundaries, dignity, and discipline. Without it, insecurity and resentment seep into the marriage. Respecting yourself means knowing your worth without arrogance. It means carrying yourself with integrity, which inspires the same in your partner. Self-respect allows you to love from a place of wholeness, not desperation. When you value yourself, you naturally value your spouse. Disrespect towards self creates dependence, jealousy, and imbalance. Respect towards self fosters confidence, balance, and mutual honor. It reminds you that you are not half of a person needing completion, but a whole soul sharing a journey. Self-respect creates respect in return. It sets the tone for how you will treat your spouse and how they will treat you. Without it, marriage crumbles under insecurity. With it, marriage rises in dignity. Love is the flame, but respect is the oxygen that keeps it alive. Without respect, even the strongest passion suffocates. Respect protects love from fading under the weight of routine. It ensures that affection does not wither under neglect. Love alone cannot guarantee survival, but respect sustains it through challenges. Respect is the discipline behind devotion. It says, I choose to honor you daily, even when emotions fluctuate. Passion can ignite quickly, but can also burn out just as fast. Respect, however, keeps the fire steady, fueling it with commitment and honor. It shields love from decay by building trust and admiration. Without it, love collapses into disappointment. With it, love matures into unbreakable unity. Marriage needs more than feelings. It needs the law of respect to breathe. If you honor this law, your marriage will not just endure, it will thrive with a love that grows stronger over time.